Pro Group Management. Workers' comp that works for you.
You are watching 7 at 7 from the Las Vegas Review-Journal.
Good morning, I'm Renee Semmerauer, and welcome to 7 at 7 a.m. January 18th, bringing you 7 minutes of nonstop local news from the Las Vegas Review-Journal. Let's get started with our top stories this morning, sponsored by Carnegie Heights. A shooting on the Las Vegas Strip left a man in critical condition early Monday. Police say there was a fight between two groups on a casino floor of the Venetian. The gunman and the second man fled to Treasure Island, where they were taken into custody. State capitals across the country are getting ready for inauguration protests, including Carson City, where James Schaefer filed this report.
For days now, Carson City's been abuzz with news about a potential violent protest. We came out to the capital of Nevada to see what the protesters would protest about or whether they'd be here at all. It was a few hours into our watch waiting for any sign of protesters that had been indicated to be at the Capitol from online postings like this. When one sole woman approached us holding a sign. She planned to counter-protest a Stop the Steal protest, but she would leave moments later when she realized there was nobody there to counter-protest too. Members of the media looked on as locals observed, all expecting some kind of turnout. Security was present by way of local law enforcement on rooftops, bicycles, and even cameras watching us as we watched them. By late afternoon, Carson City remained dormant, leaving us to wonder if Inauguration Day will be the same in the capital of Nevada as it was on the 17th. One last thing we'd like to mention is that here in Carson City, at least on the Capitol grounds, there are more media personnel here than protesters or even counter-protesters at the Capitol.
In more top stories this morning, one East Las Vegas neighborhood has reported nearly 3,000 more COVID-19 cases than any other area in the county. As of Friday, the 89110 zip code has over 9,700 cases since March, and local leaders have been working to provide resources and educate the community on how to battle the coronavirus. Today is Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Day, and one tradition of that holiday will go on today, but in a different way. The annual MLK Parade will take place virtually. Nedra Cooper, one of the parade's founding members, recalled what went into starting the first parade in 1982.
We had to learn as we go. We were novice. No one knew how to put on a parade. Wendell had done one, and we didn't even have an idea of the scale that parade would create.
You can watch this year's festivities starting at 10 a.m. at kingparadelasvegas.com. Now let's take a look at your weather. Sunshine with a mix of clouds is forecasted for the Las Vegas Valley Monday. The forecasted high will be around 68 degrees. Temperatures beginning to cool after an above average weekend, according to the National Weather Service. Now let's go over and take a look at the rest of your week. Partly cloudy skies will continue throughout the week with temperatures slipping down to the mid 50s, low 40s for your evenings.
Sports, sponsored by Scenic Brewing Company. With your sports update, I'm Leandre Fox. The drought of high school sporting events in Nevada ended Friday with a flag football game between Slam Nevada and AM+, marking the first NIAA-sanctioned competition since March, a 10-month layoff because of the coronavirus pandemic. Slam Nevada took advantage of an AM+ team playing its first ever game and dominated in a 31-0 victory. Flag football remains the only NIAA-sanctioned winter sport being played in southern Nevada.
Cassie Soto here with your Monday sports betting update. There are 9 NBA games scheduled for Martin Luther King Jr. Day. The Brooklyn Nets will host the Milwaukee Bucks in the day's marquee matchup. The Nets recently supplanted the Bucks as the plus 140 favorites to win the Eastern Conference at the Westgate after acquiring James Harden in a trade with the Houston Rockets. The Bucks are the plus 325 second choice in the East, followed by the Boston Celtics, Philadelphia 76ers, and Miami Heat at plus 750 apiece.
In your business news, sponsored by Vegas Chamber, downtown Henderson has gotten a facelift thanks to a facility for the city's newest hockey team. RJ drone pilot Michael Quine has more.
Lifeguard Arena has become part of the changing face of downtown Henderson. Henderson Mayor Deborah March has called it a game changer for Water Street and says the city foresees a huge economic boost for the area. The 120,000 square foot facility is the new headquarters for the AHL's Henderson Silver Knights and a place for the Golden Knights to expand its youth programs. About 30% of the program's members live in Henderson, but have to travel to Summerlin to participate. The $26 million arena's design is similar to City National Arena and features 2 sheets of ice, retail space, meeting space, a team store, a Mackenzie River pizza restaurant, and a Public Works coffee bar. For the Silver Knights, there are team offices, equipment rooms, a 10,000 square foot locker room, a gym, a rehabilitation room, a meal room, and a video room. The Silver Knights will play their games at the Orleans Arena for 2 years, while a new rink is built at the location of the Henderson Event Center. Lifeguard Arena open to the public on November 10th.
In your health news, new fatality figures show an alarming issue in Clark County with spikes in 2 main areas. Carrie Roper brings us this report. Carrie.
Renee, a rise in fentanyl deaths and a rise in suicides were among the largest spikes affecting Clark County last year, according to coroner data. The 13 child drug deaths in Clark County in 2020 represented a 550% increase over the previous year. Fentanyl, a synthetic opioid, was included in the figures, which factored in 9 teenagers who died of an overdose. Alarming statistics. As for adults, the county reported nearly 3 times as many fentanyl deaths last year, while the number of suicides in the county declined to 397 from 432 suicides among children increased. 15 children died by suicide in 2020 compared with 10 the year before. Be sure to go to lvrj.com for more on this story. Renee?
In your lifestyle news, sponsored by Las Vegas Motor Speedway, the Pahrumnagat National Wildlife Refuge offers a chance to see some gorgeous tundra swans. These birds stay in the area from November or December until February. People are encouraged to visit the refuge on odd-numbered days when there's no hunting. In your entertainment news, the Pinball Hall of Fame says it needs help keeping a roof over its head. The museum's founder has started an online campaign hoping to raise $200,000 to finish construction on its new site on Las Vegas Boulevard. The new location is expected to have 700 pinball and arcade machines. Well, that'll do it for today's 7 at 7 a.m. From the Las Vegas Review-Journal. I'm Renee Summerhour. Thank you for watching. You can get the latest on these stories and more at lvrj.com. You can also download our free RJ mobile app to get news alerts sent straight to your phone. And we hope you'll join us again this evening for 7 at 7 p.m. See you then.
Review Journal Studio, sponsored by attorney Adam Kuttner. Get the maximum settlement as quickly as possible. This 7 at 7 update is sponsored by Pro Group Management. You are watching 7 at 7 from the Las Vegas Review-Journal.